Hello guys, Growth here. Today we'll be breaking down the newest Predator movie, Killer of Killers. It has loads of hidden details, Easter eggs, and even references to the engineers, which was a huge surprise. The movie also completely changes the Predator timeline and some of the established lore, so let's go through everything scene by scene. The film was directed by Dan Trachtenberg, the same director who made Prey. Many people, including me, thought that Prey was the best Predator movie since the original, or even surpassed it. So it seems that Dan Trachtenberg has a real talent for Predator films, because Killer of Killers is absolutely amazing. Dan drew inspiration for this movie from one of his favorite childhood anime, Akira, which masterfully blends beautiful visuals with intense violence. He aimed to replicate this distinctive balance in Killer of Killers, and indeed, the film features outstandingly animated fight sequences that are incredibly satisfying to watch. At the very beginning, we get a passage from the Yautja Codex, which is a central text within the Predator religion and civilization. Even though it's the central element of their lore, it's actually the first time we see a passage from it on the screen. Go forth among the stars and seek only the strongest prey. They shall be your trophy, become the killer of killers. Part of the allure and mystique surrounding predators is that despite their technological advancement, we still don't fully understand their civilization or exactly why they hunt. And I made a whole separate video talking about this. The film starts in the year of 841 with a predator ship approaching Earth. Mirroring this, we see a Viking ship embarking on a raid, and we're introduced to the main character of Ursa and her son. The movie consists of 3 chapters, with the first one titled The Shield, referring to Ursa's main weapon. After successfully defeating a rival tribe, Ursa confronts the sole survivor and tortures him to get the whereabouts of her mortal enemy, Zoran. Viking culture seems especially similar to Predator culture, so it's no coincidence that the first chapter focuses on Vikings. Both cultures conduct raids and glorify fighting and combat. In Viking tradition, warriors who die honorably enter Valhalla, a paradise for warriors. This concept of honorable death is equally important in Predator society. The Yautja would rather die honorably in battle than survive in shame. Also, both Vikings and the Yautja practice trophy collecting. Vikings sometimes drank from human skulls, mirroring the Predator's obsession with collecting their victims' skulls and bones. The entire goal of attacking this village was to locate Zoran, Ursa's mortal enemy. At a campfire, Ursa finally tells her son why they're pursuing Zoran, as he's now old enough to hear the brutal story. Zoran was responsible for her father's death. After mortally wounding him, Zoran forced Ursa to kill her own father. This traumatic event transformed her entirely, fueling a lifelong obsession with insatiable bloodlust and revenge. Eventually, we reach Zoran's village. We witness an incredible fight sequence in which Ursa, fueled by fury, showcases her exceptional combat skills, nearly annihilating the entire tribe using only her modified shields, sharp enough to decapitate enemies. Ursa's fighting abilities make her appear almost like Hela, a true goddess of death capable of mass slaughter. Observing all of this, the Predator sees her as a worthy opponent. Eventually, Ursa kills all the guards and, along with her warriors, finally confronts Zoran. Her son Andres kills Zoran, concluding the revenge arc. But immediately after, the Predator kicks him aside and reveals itself, appearing absolutely massive. Its immense size indicates that it's one of the upgrade Predators like the one we saw in the Predator of 2018. The Yautja's brute strength and power are unmatched, and Ursa's warriors are completely annihilated. The Predator also has an intriguing gauntlet mechanism on its arm that significantly enhances its punches. It's also a reference to the fact that Predators often lose their arms in battles, as we've seen previously in Predator 2 and The Predator. However, like most Predators who face humans, the Yautja relies solely on brute strength and gadgets, not on cunning or intelligence. Predators typically don't attempt to outsmart their prey. They often overestimate the importance of their size and power. This ultimately becomes the downfall in the climatic battle with Ursa. After the Predator kills all of her warriors, Ursa falls into icy water. The Predator follows but cannot detect her due to the freezing temperature lowering her body heat, which mirrors what happened in the original Predator with Dutch and in the Predators with Royce. As the fight continues, Ursa outsmarts the predator by using its own strength and size against it, again proving that humans are the ultimate killers in the universe. Another crucial detail occurs after the fight. The red marking on Ursa's face left by her father fades away, symbolically ending her revenge journey. However, as it often happens in revenge quests, she pays a heavy price for it. She loses her son. Her son dies honorably in battle and likely ascends to Valhalla, the Viking paradise. While Ursa survives, she appears to live a life of torment, as if she's trapped in Helheim. In Norse mythology, Helheim is the opposite of paradise, the realm of eternal cold. And looks like Ursa metaphorically experiences this. She was submerged in freezing water, then surrounded by snow, and ultimately placed in a cryochamber at the end of the film, almost literally entering Viking's hell, Helheim, frozen for years. However, before this occurs, Ursa is then taken aboard a predator ship, transported somewhere else. Here we see another warrior, leading us to the second chapter set in feudal Japan in 1609. This chapter is called The Sword, again referring to the weapon of the main character, Kenji. We're then introduced to two young brothers training under a skilled general or shogun, also their father. Given that the year of 1609, this general might actually be Tokugawa Ieyasu, the most powerful figure in Japan in that period who established the Tokugawa shogunate. The young brothers train together, framed by the proverb, "The leaves of the tree grow side by side, yet when they fall alone." This sets up the thematic exploration of the fighting together versus alone, a theme significant here and in the film's final chapter. While testing a sword's sharpness, the shogun marks a dent in a wooden border, a small detail that becomes crucial later. Both brothers prepare for a duel against each other, and the winner appears to get their father's samurai armor. However, due to their brotherhood, Kenji lowers his sword, so the other exploits the opening, attacking dishonorably and technically winning the duel. Just as Vikings prioritize honorable death, for the samurai, honor is even more vital. They would rather die than commit a dishonorable act that could strain their family name for centuries. A belief closely aligned with Yautja's honor culture. After this duel, their life paths split. One becomes a samurai, while the other, Kenji, becomes a farmer who secretly trains as a ninja, preparing for revenge and to reclaim his father's position. Ironically, this becomes another revenge story as Kenji seeks vengeance for his defeat in an unfair fight. After 20 years, when the shogun dies, the position should fall to one of his sons. Kenji, who's been training for decades, seizes this chance to reclaim his rightful position and legendary armor, believing that his brother won the original duel unfairly. Kenji infiltrates the castle, skillfully eliminating guards, proving himself as a cunning hunter. However, it's all observed by the Yautja, who tries to find the most worthy opponent. Eventually, Kenji confronts his brother and they have a fair rematch for their father's position. In an epic fight, Kenji comes out victorious and he pins his brother against the wooden border, making an identical scar on his brother's cheek to the one he received 20 years ago. His brother prematurely put on their father's armor as if he already won, symbolically jinxing himself. So the wooden border dented 20 years ago finally breaks, causing the samurai to fall, seemingly defeated and dead. Kenji looks confused, realizing that he technically won, yet his brother is dead. He then sees his father's portrait, realizing that his father indirectly caused their separation 20 years earlier. But then the predator suddenly attacks Kenji, piercing through the portrait, suggesting that maybe their father was the real monster who destroyed their brotherhood. The Yautja, who witnessed the entire duel, now considers Kenji the strongest warrior and his preferred target. After running away from the predator and falling into a river, Kenji reconciles with his brother and they join forces against the Yautja. This predator resembles the feral predator from Prey, equipped with similar mandibles and weapons, including flying circular bombs. But on top of that, he has a new weapon never seen before, a retractable gauntlet launcher reminiscent of a rope dart from Mortal Kombat. Working together, the two brothers defeat the predator. Camouflaged invisibly, the predator is exposed when a falling leaf lands on it. The brothers jointly slice the predator to pieces, mirroring the leaf-catching scene when they were boys. This fight also references the deadly duel in The Predators of 2010, where the Yakuza member Hanzo actually wins, but then he dies due to his injuries. However, what's really interesting is that the actor who played Hanzo is the same one who plays Kinji in this animated film, which is a really cool Easter egg. By defeating the Predator, both brothers proved that it's not brute strength or technology that makes one the ultimate killer, but human intelligence and cooperation. The brothers then sit together as they did in the beginning of the chapter, but one succumbs to his injuries and unfortunately dies. However, Kinji is then taken aboard the Predator's ship, joining Ursa, where they meet the third character, John Torres. John's backstory begins in 1941. He is the son of a mechanic who dreams of being a fighter pilot. However, after being drafted into the military, he is forced into the role of mechanic, as no one else can fix the planes. This leads us to the third chapter, The Bullet, referring to the name of John's plane, but also to the type of weapon predators use. Each chapter, shield, sword, and bullet, reflects stages of Yautja weaponry. As one of the planes is mysteriously shut down, John discovers a Yautja engine harpoon, activated by and attracted to nearby engines. When pilots leave for an attack, Captain Vandy doesn't allow John to fly because John is their only mechanic. However, this all changes when a Predator ship attacks and wipes out nearly all other planes. Eager to help, John takes a barely functional plane, the Bullet, and flies out to help, disobeying Captain Vandy's orders. Interestingly, Vandy is voiced by Michael Biehn, who portrayed Dwayne Hicks in Aliens, which is a nice connection between franchises. Then we're introduced to a new kind of Yautja, a cyber predator, featuring numerous cybernetic augmentations. One of his eyes is entirely covered or replaced by mechanical sensors directly linked to his brain. It appears that this predator may be physically integrated into the ship, possibly because he has no legs. Considering how often predators suffer severe injuries or their arms or legs being cut off, it's possible that this predator relies on flying a vehicle because he can no longer move independently, meaning that he may have built the entire ship specifically around his own body. We also see a brand new ship clearly designed for aerial combat. Instead of collecting skulls of their victims, this predator appears to collect engines from the machines it destroyed. After an intense aerial chase and the predator killing most pilots, John joins the fight despite the captain's prohibition. When one of his engines catches fire, John performs an insane maneuver, crawling out along the wing to fix it. And it's at this moment when he realizes that the Predator's ship is attracted by heat. So the only two survivors left, John and Captain Vandy, fly high to cool their planes, masking themselves from the Predator. However, Captain Vandy sacrifices himself so that John can destroy one of the Yautja ship's engines. Using his intelligence and ingenuity, John outsmarts the Yautja by flying through a fleet of enemy warships, causing severe damage. He then baits the Predator into harpooning his plane, which crashes directly into the Predator's cockpit, killing the Yautja and proving once again that humans remain the deadliest hunters, even with less advanced technology. What's really fascinating is that in each chapter, the Predator mirrors the fighting style and characteristic of its human opponent. In Viking's chapter, the Predator matches Ursa's rage and brutality, similarly relying heavily on raw strength and physical power. In the second chapter, the Predator has a stealthy and ninja-like style just like Kinji, and even uses ninja-like weapons such as a retractable dart. And in the third chapter, the Cyber Predator reflects John's technological focus, fighting him in the aerial combat. But what's even more interesting is that in each chapter, humans commit the final deadly blow by exploiting the Predator's signature weapon against them. Ursa kills the Predator by using its own punching gauntlet. Kenji and his brother kill the Predator immediately after it activates its invisible camouflage, its primary stealth tactic. Finally, John destroys the Predator's ship by turning its signature retractable harpoon against it. Symbolically, these victories demonstrate that humans excel in every combat style, from Viking ferocity to samurai stealth and precision to advanced aerial warfare. On the other hand, it's actually quite disappointing that predators consistently lose in every storyline, whether against xenomorphs or humans. Given that the predators are portrayed as the galaxy's deadliest hunters who worship killing for sport, it would actually be refreshing and compelling to finally see at least one movie where the predators genuinely come out victorious. Then we see John back home in Florida seemingly after the war. However, a predator ship kidnaps him, leaving mysterious crop circles in the field. Much like the implication in the 2004 AVP movie that Yautja technology helped humans build pyramids, predator ships are now suggested to be the cause behind crop circles worldwide, further linking the long-standing connection between humans and predators. John is then taken to Yautja Prime along with Ursa and Kinji. John represents the skill and technology, Ursa embodies the strength of the shield, and Kinji symbolizes the precision of the sword. So together, the three form a deadly combination, epitomizing the ultimate killing machine. With warriors from vastly different eras, we witness the evolution of warfare. From Viking brutality to samurai honor and to World War II combat, humans consistently defeated predators, so it's this blend of intelligence, cunning, and violence that fascinates the Yautja. It also appears that the three stories take place during historically significant years for main characters. The Viking chapter unfolds in 841, marking the year Vikings shifted from temporary raids to establishing permanent settlements in Dublin, Ireland. Then in 1609, a significant historical conquest took place when Japan's Satsuma domain invaded and conquered the Ryukyu kingdom. Lastly, the story set in 1941 coincides with the attack on Pearl Harbor in John's home country, the United States, which was one of the most pivotal events in World War II. These exceptional warriors are brought to what appears to be the Predator homeworld, Yautja Prime. Recognizable by its distinctive color palette and binary star system shown previously in Predator Requiem. Predator society revolves entirely around hunting, with battles to death central to their culture. As discussed in previous videos, the Yautja have nearly unlimited resources and highly advanced technology that they acquired from a race that once enslaved them. However, after the revolt, they got all this advanced tech. As a consequence, their barbaric traditions got intensified, and despite their spacefaring capabilities, they find meaning in confronting death through combat. They also enjoy watching other species fight to the death against various beasts in arenas on Yautja Prime. At the arena's center stands a giant skull, likely from a colossal beast that once roamed the planet. Predators existed millions of years before humans, fighting massive creatures for survival even before acquiring this advanced tech, and we briefly see these monsters in the trailer for Predator Badlands. But then we get a huge reveal, the appearance of the Warlord Predator, or perhaps the Predator King if this planet is actually Yautja Prime. This predator is also called Grendel King, and he may lead the clan known as Bad Bloods, as we later learn that this clan is involved in genetically upgrading their own DNA, which is forbidden in the Yautja Codex. Grendel King is at least the clan leader and an extremely powerful Yautja, wearing numerous skull trophies integrated into his armor, including xenomorph tails and bones. His helmet appears to be crafted from another Yautja's skull, possibly a rival clan leader or a bad blood. The concept of the Predator King has only been rumored in the comics and was never explicitly explained. The Predator King has never appeared in movies and is only briefly mentioned in comics and extended lore. Described as massive and ancient, possibly over 1,000 years old. That figure was described to command multiple clans, despite the fact that they're usually completely independent of each other. Whether the Warlord Predator is the Predator King is questionable, but his immense size suggests great age as predators grow larger as they age. We also get to see the Yautja speech directly translated, something rarely depicted. The mystique of the Predator culture has always been appealing. Their civilization is both advanced and primal, creating intriguing contradiction. We then witness a dishonorable death, likely of a bad blood or a fugitive. In Yautja culture, dying dishonorably is the worst fate, preventing Yautja from joining their ancestors in the afterlife, mirroring Viking mythology and samurai honor code. The three human warriors then receive weapons belonging to their tribe. Ursa gets an axe, the samurai a sword, and most interestingly, John receives a flintlock pistol, the exact same pistol from Predator 2 and Prey. This pistol is probably the most iconic object in the franchise that connects many movies. Prey actually altered the pistol's backstory from the comics. Originally in the comics, the pistol belonged to a pirate captain, Raphael Adolini. When his crew revolted against him, a predator decided to help the captain to fight off the mutinous crew. So in exchange for helping him, Adolini gave this flintlock pistol to the Yautja. In Predator 2, Hurricane defeated the City Hunter Predator in basically a hand-to-hand duel. So an elder Predator gave this pistol to Hurricane as a trophy. So originally it was theorized that the flintlock pistol passed from a pirate captain directly to a Predator and then to Hurricane in Predator 2. However, Prey completely altered this storyline. In Prey, Naru received the pistol from Raphael Adolini, not a pirate captain but a French interpreter, as a thank you for treating his wounds. Naru later used the pistol in her fight against the feral Yautja, and at the film's conclusion, she handed it to her tribe leader. Then the post-credit scene of Prey shows 3 Predator ships approaching Naru's village, implying that the pistol was likely claimed by the Predators. But Killer of Killers completely changes the story even further, given that the warlord Yautja in Killer of Killers may be the leader of the feral Predator clan, with distinctive skulls as masks. It's possible that this exact clan recovered the flintlock pistol from Naru. Since the events of Killer of Killers likely occurred between 1941 and 1997, the cinematic journey of the pistol now seems to be as follows. From Raphael Adolini, the French interpreter, to Naru, then from Naru to the feral Predator clan. Then from there given to John during the arena battle, and eventually it ended up in the hands of the Lost Tribe clan in Predator 2, who finally handed to Hurricane. But let's return back to the film. The warlord Predator orders the humans to fight to the death, allowing only one survivor, or else they'll all die via explosive neck bracelets. Initially, Ursa obeys and fights Kenji, wanting an honorable death to enter Valhalla. But after seeing a vision suggesting her son is reincarnated as John, she changes her mind and teams up with the other two. John then gets swallowed by a massive beast, but finds a predator gauntlet from a previously eaten Yautja inside the creature and uses it to escape. He then hijacks a scooter vehicle and the three defeat the monster and attempts to escape in a Yautja ship. But the Predator King blocks their path and forces a final battle. By working together again, the humans manage to slow down this warlord predator. However, they are no match for this giant monster, and they were only able to slow him down while John figures out how to operate the ship. The three board the ship to fly away, but the predators fire a harpoon into it, preventing their escape. Ursa sacrifices herself to break the chain, telling the others not to avenge her, as she learned that revenge only leads to more bloodlust and pain. However, the warlord predator sends additional ships to chase John and Kenji, possibly setting up a sequel. But then come three major reveals with insane implications for the Predator franchise. Ursa is cryogenically frozen in a vast warehouse with thousands of other beings, metaphorically trapped in eternal Helheim due to her insatiable bloodlust. Since she's likely the strongest human warrior, the Predators preserve her DNA for bio-upgrading themselves. As introduced in the Predator of 2018, some Predators incorporate genome of other dangerous species into their own DNA to continually evolve into deadlier killers. Normally, this practice is strictly forbidden in the Yautja Codex, and only bad blood predators engage in genetically engineering themselves. Genetic upgrades are treated as a form of cheating since it grants unfair advantages, so it's likely that the clan we see in the movie is a bad blood clan. Unless these beings who defeated predators are cryogenically preserved for some other, even more mysterious reason. If this is not a bad blood clan, these beings could also be preserved for rematches in future gladiator fights. In another frozen crate, we see a mysterious alien that resembles a Drukothi, an ancient and advanced race. However, what's even more fascinating and mind-blowing is that this creature looks a lot like another alien race created by engineers. This creature could also be a tetrabrachial humanoid from the comics, native to the planet UE-753. These primitive beings are as brutal as Yautja and were another engineer experiment. In the Fire and Stone comic book, which directly connects to the events of Prometheus, the predator known as Ahab visits the planet of the tetrabrachial humanoids, and he discovers cave paintings identical to those Elizabeth Shaw found on Earth. These paintings featuring the space jockeys indicate that these beings, tetrabrachial humanoids, were also created by the engineers. So the appearance of these creatures in Killer of Killers further suggests that the engineer's storyline will play a significant role in merging Alien and Predator franchises. This also serves as another hint that Disney intends to officially merge Predator and Alien. In addition, the trailer for the upcoming Predator Badlands reveals that one of the main characters is a Weyland-Yutani synthetic, clearly showing the Weyland-Yutani logo reflected in her eyes. This detail isn't just an Easter egg, it directly ties the franchises together. Another clue is the Weyland-Yutani logo on the machines on the Yautja planet, suggesting that the corporation is actively involved in Predator-related affairs and could be sending equipment to Predator planets to mine valuable metals. After the two AVP films, the studio initially moved away from explicitly connecting Alien and Predator. However, with Disney now owning both franchises, a definitive merger seems increasingly likely. Then we observe another human in a cry chamber. Although his identity isn't explicitly revealed, it could very well be Dutch, the iconic character who defeated a predator in the 1987 film and continued hunting them according to the extended lore. Arnold Schwarzenegger nearly returned for the Predator of 2018 but declined at the very last moment, seeking a more substantial role than a mere cameo. But with Dan Trachtenberg now given full green light and control of the Predator films, there's a strong possibility that we'll finally see Dutch returning. Dutch almost appeared in Predator 2, and in the video game Predator Hunting Grounds there's a series of 8 recordings called Dutch tapes, where he recounts what happened to him after the 1987 incident. And according to these tapes, Dutch is still fighting Predators as of 2020. On the other hand, the human in the cry chamber doesn't seem as physically imposing as Dutch, especially since Alan Dutch Schaefer is famous for being a behemoth of a man. Alternatively, the individual in the cry chamber could be Quinn from The Predator, or perhaps even Lieutenant Mike Harrigan from Predator 2, who notably defeated a Yautja in direct hand-to-hand combat. The most interesting reveal, however, is Naru, who is also frozen in a cry chamber. At the end of Prey, Naru outsmarted the feral predator, likely part of the same clan as the warlord predator. In the post-credits scene, 3 predator ships approach her village, so her presence in the cry chamber suggests that she successfully defeated these new predators in potentially Prey 2, making her DNA highly valuable. And then she was kidnapped just like Ursa and others, and she probably fought already in the gladiator arena. As Naru possessed the Raffaello Dellini pistol, predators presumably claimed it from her, explaining its later appearance with John on Yautja Prime. Overall, Killer of Killers is an incredible film. Despite being animated, it's brutal, gory, and packed with exceptional action sequences. It stands on the same level with the original Predator, Prey, and Predators. Predator franchise appears to be expanding significantly, potentially connecting not only to the Alien series but also to the Independence Day franchise. In the Badlands trailer, we see a giant alien skull prominently displayed at the very center, closely resembling the aliens from Independence Day. Dan Trachtenberg was actually asked about this alien skull, and essentially he confirmed this connection, explaining that Independence Day was another Fox property now owned by Disney, basically saying that there's a lot more here than just a coincidence. The upcoming Alien series, Alien Earth, also presents numerous opportunities for Easter eggs or references to the Predator franchise, especially considering its heavy focus on various alien creatures and corporate conflict, and one of these creatures could easily come from a Predator planet. Weyland-Yutani, a key player in Alien Earth, maintains a monopoly on space exploration, but their technology is at risk of being stolen when their ship crash lands in Prodigy City, an area completely controlled by a rival corporation, which will gladly steal all the secrets that they can. Corporate warfare will be a major plot point in the Alien series, especially since Weyland-Yutani was formed when the original Weyland Corporation absorbed Yutani, another massive Japanese conglomerate. As shown in AVP Requiem, Yutani acquired a Predator plasma caster, gaining advanced alien technology. This acquisition could become an essential element influencing events in both the Alien series and Predator Badlands. Additionally, the Alien Earth trailer reveals that dangerous alien species were collected from distant planets throughout the galaxy.
collected specimens from distant planets.
Given the presence of Weyland-Yutani equipment on the Predator planet, it's highly likely that one of these captured species originated precisely from there. And the android shown in the trailer could even be directly involved in harvesting specimens from the Predator planet. So clearly there are numerous exciting connections and intriguing possibilities ahead for both franchises. Thank you guys for watching. What do you think about Predator Killer of Killers, and did I miss any references or Easter eggs? Leave your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to join the Patreon for extra support. Also, like this video if you enjoyed it and subscribe to the channel for more content. My name is Croft and I'll see you in the next video.